Welcome to the Business Building Blocks podcast, where we talk about struggles and celebrations that leaders and entrepreneurs experience on their journey to success. I'm your host, Kristina, and I'm passionate about helping you achieve massive amounts of success at work and at home. We'll talk about all things people and organizational wellness, share relatable stories, and feature insightful guests because quality people and processes are at the heart of every success story. Ready to learn, grow, and have fun? Let's dive in. Hello and welcome to the Business Building Blocks podcast. I'm your host, Kristina Schmitt. This is going to be a little bit of a different episode. So today's guest is Nicole Donnelly of the Hello Moxie podcast. We have done a collaboration, so you can go and hear the podcast episode on her podcast and on mine. We'll just have a little bit of a different intro for you to listen to, but it's a wonderful conversation, might be a bit longer than my normal ones, but we hear tons about what she is doing to bring women just more success in life and in business and in really just what they want to do. So better connecting to themselves. And you can hear a lot more of what she does about and hear about her podcast and hear about a new program that she's launched. And you also get to hear a little bit more about my background and my podcast. So if you haven't listened to some of the other episodes and maybe haven't filled in all the blanks about me, you'll get a little more intel on that as well. So of course, we'll talk Working Genius, but we'll also talk some of the courses that Nicole is doing as well. So I hope you enjoy the episode and also pop on over and listen to Nicole's podcast, Hello Moxie. So we'll jump right in.
Hello and welcome. This is a very special joint episode today, which is so much fun. This is the second time I've had the chance to do this, and it's really rewarding to be able to do a collab like this. And I'm very excited that we're doing a joint collab between Hello Moxie and Business Building Blocks, which is hosted by the amazing Kristina Schmitt. And Kristina and I are so excited to dive into all things leadership and Moxie and all of the fun work that goes into building amazing teams that are highly performing. So Kristina, welcome to the joint Moxie Business Building Blocks show. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me, Nicole. I'm super excited to be on the Moxie podcast, and then I'm super excited to have you part of the Business Building Blocks podcast. I know you've got so much to share and so much to help my listeners, and I hope I can do the same for yours. So this is my first collab adventure, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is going to be so fun. We're going to totally light up the internet with this episode, and yeah, lots of magic happening. So I would love to know what's lighting you up lately. What are you super excited about?
Well, I have recently moved. I moved countries. So I came from Canada over to the US. So I think what's lighting me up is just number one, seeing my boys just flourish where they are. But number two, just reestablishing community, creating a space here for my business to now flourish in this new local space that I'm at, as well as, all the things getting me excited, just, my virtual business as well.
I love that. So what do you notice is what have you most been surprised by in this move to an entirely new country? What most surprised you most?
Well, for me, it's coming home. It is establishing myself as an adult in a space where I was a child.
Very cool. So it's like coming home again.
It is. And so super fun. But I think it's been surprising kind of just how well my kids have taken off, but just there is the sameness, but yet a newness for me. I feel almost a fresh feeling, even though it is kind of back home.
There's nothing like that fresh start feeling, isn't there? It's amazing. Sometimes when we look at sometimes change, I feel like from my experience, when you first are facing up against change, there's a lot of resistance to it. And which is natural. It's human nature for us to resist change. And we're kind of I don't know, this is so different. But then it's like this interesting dance where the more I kind of lean into the change, the more I shift from just this fear into this just pure childish delight at all of the opportunities that come with doing something for the very first time. So
yeah, I feel something similar. And I think all of my angst comes before. I have this imagined world, all these thoughts that I think are going to be the case. And this imagined world of what could go wrong, what horrible things might happen. So for me, Like what I find helps so much is just like doing something, like just a move forward, a step forward is like that thing that helps me get off the dime of that spiral,
Spinning.
the spiral of never changing.
Yeah. So true. You're so right. It's like taking those small steps, and each step you take is just informing the next one, and it builds confidence along the way that like, I got this, I can handle this change.
Yes,
Very,
absolutely.
very.
Sometimes you need a
Oh,
reminder.
I know. I love that so much. Yeah, I'm like super jazzed right now because I just got back from this like whirlwind little mini trip with my kids for their fall break.
Mhm.
And we went down to Orlando for Universal to go see the new park. And I think what's lighting me up right now is just like this sense of wonder of like, there was so much wonder seeing some of like the Mario Land for the first time and going on the rides. And I don't know. I think as adults, it's so great sometimes to just let ourselves experience wonder. And how can we build more of that into our day-to-day lives? I don't know.
No, I agree with you. Like, I feel like, they always use the, take time to smell the roses, right? I feel like having my kids around forces me to do those rose smelling things. Like, normally when I'm walking from one place to another, I'm just walking and I'm walking at a breakneck speed, it's probably late, but I'm walking fast. But then my kid will like stop and like, the other day we stopped for like a couple minutes and we're looking at this crazy bug. He's like, look at this bug. I have no idea how he saw the bug, but he just bent down. Like we took a few minutes to like look at the bug, and it was like, wow, here I am just walking him home from school to the house, and now we're pausing. And it's just that force wonder that these kids will see. And it's such a great reminder. And it's like, I need them to force me to do that. So such an amazing time that you got to do that with your kids in Universal.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. It's like something about their curiosity. Like you mentioned how he was so curious about the bug. And my daughter too, she's 10 and she's just like peppering me with questions all the time. And her curiosity lights up my curiosity because a lot of times she asks me questions I don't know the answer to. Like, let me find this out for you. I'm not sure. And it's really great fun. You and I have this like shared journey as being women in underrepresented industries, specifically in manufacturing. I've worked many years in the manufacturing space, and I know you've like your whole career you've been in manufacturing.
Yes. Yeah.
I would love to know kind of what's your experience been as a woman in manufacturing. What's it been like for you? Highs, lows, loves, challenges. Tell us about it.
Sometimes I think I'm not officially in manufacturing anymore, which is kind of wonderful, kind of, not as wonderful, because I loved it. I did like it. I loved machines and watching things work and seeing how things are made. And so that part was exciting to me. My background being engineering, there was something that got me into that from the get-go. But a lot of times I would forget that I was the only female until there was random times it became extremely obvious, like when I'm in a room with a bunch of, I was in my 20s as a leader and I'm very short in stature. Me and a bunch of middle-aged, very tall men, and you realize you're at their elbow level, and you're like, okay, there is a level of intimidation that you feel when there's that giant people around you sort of feeling. And sometimes I know I would let that overcome me. So I think that there was like some greatness that sometimes I felt like this like mighty little person, and other times I'd feel like this meek little mouse that wasn't so mighty anymore when I would let like those sorts of things kind of get in my head. So there's definitely like a love-hate for it. So coming out of it, I see that I allowed that like feeling of mighty to kind of become my identity. And I think that was actually very bad for me. And I think it was bad for me to feel that stature, that role made me feel mighty, not just feeling mighty within myself. And so it allowed those ebbs and flows to hit harder, when those tall, intimidating men would make me feel intimidated. Like it felt like it made it hurt more because my identity was not me. It was the role I was. It was, and so I think I like digging in deeper into my own identity, who I am, that helped me so much more than trying to identify myself in that role. So I think sometimes stepping out of manufacturing helped me feel more mighty, even though I felt mighty in that space.
Well, that's so interesting. So how did you come to realize this? Because you were very clear that like your identity was tied up in this role, right? Like you had this role that you felt like you needed to perform maybe in that space. When did it become clear to you that you were playing this part and that your identity was kind of wrapped up in it? Like what was that journey like for you to kind of like recognizing that maybe and tethering from it?
So it was really a journey of faith for me. So I grew up Catholic and, kind of did the things and then steered very far from it. And just in those kind of formative, like starting out as an adult time frame. But there was somewhere in there, I think it was right before I got married. So I was a late bloomer in that respect. But right before I got married, I was like, oh, I want to get married in the church. I'm going to dig deeper in. So I started digging deeper in. Then when I had my first child, I was like, I don't want him to take the long way around. So I started getting more because I knew I had to do better. I had to learn how to do it if I wanted to teach him how to do it, because it's not really fair to expect something that you're not willing to do. So I knew I had to dig deeper. So I was in on these groups and these studies, and we started talking about identity. Everyone's like, you're a child of God and you're this. I'm like, I feel very proud of myself because I'm a plant manager. That's all I feel. And it was like, oh gosh. And it took so long to like unwrap that for myself. And I still sometimes feel like even as like now I'm wrapped myself into, I'm a business owner. So I still try to latch on to that thing that is there. And even when I started my business, I was like, it felt a loss of saying, I'm not a plant manager anymore. That felt like a loss. So it was many years, probably still doing it, journey for me to be able to kind of see it and then start to detach that part of me and start really understanding this is me and all my, nooks and crannies and wonderful and horrible all together is me. And that's how I'm made. And that's, what's meant to be out there. That's how I'm meant to help people.
Love that. That's so beautiful. What is it that you love? Or what have you come to learn about the you-ness that you bring to your business now that you're just like, you feel like you're just so you that maybe you might have missed before?
Well, I think the big part is like this energy and like lightness that I bring, where I literally had a boss tell me, you might be like too light and too fun and having, too much, like all this stuff I was too much of, like too nice, too helpful, too. And I was like, so all being able to kind of say like, that's me, and that need to help and that need to be energetic and bring a lightness to a very hard situation. Like that is what makes me good at what I do, not the detriment, it felt like. So the weaknesses, I guess you could say, that really are really now my strengths, are really what I'm meant to be using in life.
Oh, I love this so much. I think the challenge is like, I just wrote about this on LinkedIn, is that when you're in a space where your natural gifts maybe aren't as prevalent or aren't as common, and in your case, like your natural gift for positivity and for leading with heart, maybe those weren't things that were as common or as prevalent, which is what people are used to in that setting, right? They're used to someone who's a little bit more analytical, a little bit more logical, more hard-nosed. That's kind of like, that's traditionally, right?
Yes.
How the manufacturing space works. And so when someone comes in and kind of like brings this different kind of energy, it can feel disorienting for other people and for you too, because you're like, how do I fit in with all of this? I'm like, I felt like that myself too. Like I very much felt like I've always been very conceptual, very positive, very like visionary, always like, anytime I'm working with a manufacturing client, I was always come in and be like, look at all these things we can do. Look at how we can build this and how we can change this and we can improve this and I can see it.
Yes, I would have loved to.
Oh my gosh. And it was like I was pulling teeth and they just couldn't, like, they were just like, wait a second, but this is our process and this is how we've always done it this way. And this is what's worked for us. And so for a long time, it just felt like similar to you, like the gifts that I had, I felt like I had to shift them a little bit so that I would kind of like subdue those parts of me and let go of the visionary side of me and just accept and move more into this part of myself that just was so not me, that I was miserable.
Yes. Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I know. I felt very blessed. Like a couple of years after I left and I started doing this work, I found the 6 types of working genius, and I was able to put a name to the things that were those things that I was trying to force myself to do versus like my geniuses, the areas where I was meant to do it. So it was almost freeing to, and guilt releasing to like find this, to name those things and to say, that's not a character flaw that I didn't enjoy that. It's not a character flaw. It is how I'm made. And of course I was miserable. Of course. Like for you.
I was going to say, isn't it amazing how when you start to lean into those things, your world just opens? Your world is open. Tell me more about this working genius. I love Pat Lencioni, who's the creator of this framework. And I love his books. He's written some really wonderful, I love the way he writes too, in this like fable allegory kind of. Yes. Tell me more about how you use this in the work that you do and maybe what you learned about your working genius and how you've seen that shift other leaders when they start to uncover their own working genius.
So essentially the 6 types of working genius, it's a model and it's designed on the 6 steps of work. And it's any type of work, like planning a family vacation or launching a new program. It's any sort of work that you might do. And there are 6 stages, and we are all naturally gifted in 2 of them and naturally ungifted or frustrated by 2. And then there's 2 that we could leave or take. And, you know, if we had to do them forever, we would just be totally worn out. So when you look at like burnout, a lot of times it's because you're functioning either in a frustration all the time or you're functioning too much in a competency versus a genius. So the way I use it is I start there with leaders, because for leaders, it's so important for them to understand themselves. And this is such a quick and almost as glimpse into yourself. Like no personality assessment will ever, tell us everything. It could line all your results up in a row and you're still not going to know everything, but a glimpse into yourself and that ability to name it. Now I can do something. Now I can do something very practical with it, and I can use it more or delegate it or find a workaround with it. And it's just such a freeing thing. But I also have leaders lean into it when they're giving feedback or developing their own employees too, because it can help create empathy. When you're super frustrated because somebody can't get their assignments in on time, and then you realize they're lacking, like they're very low in tenacity, that is a challenge, and it will always be a challenge for them. And when you can help them with that and say, okay, I know this is hard. How can we make it work for you? How can we partner with you? How can I check in with you more? How can we sandwich your tasks together so you're not so frustrated with it? Like, what do we need to do? And you can put solutions in place, because now you're not thinking it's a character flaw. So
yeah, I love this so much. And also too, like then you start to think about, okay, well, what are their areas of genius and how can I potentially position them to be doing more of those things?
Exactly.
Which is beautiful. So similar to this framework, I love Strengths Finder. And it's like one of the core parts of the Moxie method. Our stage 2 is all about, we call it the spark. And it's all about curiosity and leaning into your strengths, uncovering what your strengths are and leaning into like, what are you naturally curious about? Where do you find that you get what lights you up? And through that journey, like the self-awareness is so important, because like the more you start to learn about yourself, become aware of the things that you really love, and just really start to lean into those and let go of those areas where you feel like you're hanging on to because you're like, feel this pressure, like I've got to be good at this thing.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I'm not good at it, but I feel like I've got to be good at it. Why not just let that go and just lean into what you're really good at and find ways to manage around that, like build a team to support you in the areas where you're weak, for example. And it can be, so I love it because it's incredibly empowering. Because if you recognize, I interviewed this lovely woman on the podcast who uses Strengths Finder too. And one of the things she shared that I think is so spot on is that like the working genius and these strengths, they're innate. Like they're just part of who you are. So you're not going to lose them. It's not like a skill that you will lose if you don't practice it. And because it's an innate ability or an innate genius that you have, you're not going to lose it. And I think that knowledge builds confidence, because you're like, this is just who I am. And so if I show up more this way, there's no pressure. I could just, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yes.
It's very empowering.
Absolutely it is. In terms of, this might appeal to all the manufacturers that listen, it's so much more productive too. When everyone can function in those top strengths or those top geniuses, they're more productive and they're happier and they're empowered, to use a buzzword here. They're empowered, but they want to do it and they want to do well, and they're very capable of doing well. And if you're looking for efficiencies in the workplace, getting people operating in those top strengths and top geniuses, that's where it's at. And that's where they're so beneficial.
I love it.
So wonderful transition. I would love to hear more about the Moxie method. So can you tell us a bit about the Moxie method?
Yeah. So this is through my own lived experience, but it's also backed in neuroscience. And so this method came through my own experience dealing with burnout. So, and really coming to terms with my own trauma as a child. Most of us have experienced trauma in our lives. It's very common. My strategy for dealing with the trauma that I had as a child was to run from it and to basically achieve. So that was like my way of escaping from the pain that I had suffered from as a child. Was I just need to work harder. I just need to prove myself. I'm just going to achieve. And it was like my numbing, like, how people are like addicted to alcohol or, I mean, we're all addicted to our phones. My addiction is, workaholism, and it was, and it's something I have to like really work hard to manage. And so what happened was I was just like on the hamster wheel for like so long. And I woke up one day finding myself in a very toxic relationship. And thankfully, I had a wonderful coach who was a mirror for me. And she helped me realize that this relationship that I was in was not healthy, that it mirrored some patterns I learned in childhood from my other unhealthy relationship. And I was completely overworked. I was burnout. I was so stressed. And I realized in that moment, like, it took me a period of time to get there. Basically, what I had done, what my coach encouraged me to do, is to practice somatic mindfulness. And so for 2 years, what I would do is I would literally go outside in my hammock and I would sit there and I'd do absolutely nothing.
Oh my goodness.
And when she first challenged me to do this, she's like, Nicole, do you ever spend time with yourself? And I was like, what would I do? Like, literally, I was like, what would I do if I just did? And she's like, what if you just noticed what's coming up in your body? And that felt so hooey to me. I'm like, what do you mean? What's coming up in my body? And she's like, well, literally pay attention to the sensations. Like, are you feeling a tingling in your hands? Do you feel your heart racing? What's coming up for you? And so at first it was very uncomfortable, but the more that I practiced that, I literally just go outside and just pay attention. The more I started to notice these physical sensations and get curious about them. What is this trying to tell me? What is this emotion that is tied to this physical sensation I'm feeling? Because the body knows first. And it was really through that process that I became so aware of what my instincts and my intuition were telling me that I started to develop self-trust for the first time in my life. My whole life, I had been taught or programmed to just doubt myself and to trust the other people around me. And so through this journey, I learned through somatic awareness that this development of self-trust. So this is the first stage of the Moxie method, which we call the seed, which is all about stillness and really developing that. And then as you develop self-trust, then you start feeling comfortable to lean into the things you're curious about.
Yes.
Because you trust yourself more. So now this ties into your working genius and like leaning into your strengths. And it's kind of like this organic process that happens. It's this journey. So as you start to naturally, organically lean into your strengths and your body reinforces to you, yes, I like this. This is something I enjoy. This is something I'm meant to be doing. You naturally start stepping into more uncomfortable situations because you trust yourself to move through them and you're leaning into your strength. And so it's like you can feel the discomfort, but you know that this is congruent with who I am, what I need to do. So you naturally step into discomfort, which is the third stage we call the sprout, which is stepping into fear. And as you step into fear, you are naturally going to use your voice more, whatever way that is, whether you're a public speaker, whether you're an engineer, whether you're a writer, whatever your gifts are. As you step into fear in these uncomfortable situations, you're going to stretch yourself. You're going to be speaking up more, using your voice. And then as you use your voice more, then you enter stage 5 organically, which we call shine, which is all about mentorship and giving back and legacy. And so as you move into this shine stage, people start to follow you and you start attracting people and becoming a mentor to other people and helping them along the way. So those are like the 5 stages of the Moxie method. And it's totally through my own lived experience, this journey. It's how I came to realize that I wanted to be a public speaker, to be a writer, was through this process. And it led me to starting Hello Moxie. So, which is like So fun. So anyway, that's just a little bit of the journey of the Moxie method, and it's
Yeah,
core to all the programming we do.
that's awesome. I love to see the different stages because it is about understanding you and the somatic, the stillness part. That part is so huge and it's hard. Like I know myself, like I try to like so I do like a 30-minute prayer time where I'm supposed to think and reflect. And I'm like, I need to do the dishes. I need to do so just that
Ooh.
sitting still for any period of time is so hard. So how does someone start to do that? Like how do you get through the antsiness and that tough spot?
Oh, great question. First, accept that it's going to feel antsy. I think you have to accept that it's not going to feel comfortable, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember when I first started practicing, my coach would even tell me, she's like, I'd be like, well, I tried this and I just felt like I needed to, get these answers and I just didn't know. She's like, what if you just accept that it's going to be uncomfortable at first? And that kind of let off the pressure a little bit. So that's the first step. I would say the second step is just take do like my way for stillness is to sit in my hammock. I love just being outside, but it's kind of different for everyone. So think about like a place you really love to be. I love to be outside. What's a place you really love to be? And what if you just practiced going and being there for just 5 minutes? Just start with 5 minutes and just challenge yourself to just notice. Notice what's coming up in your body and pay attention. And as I noticed like just this great sense of peace that being with yourself really can bring you. It's a grounding energy. And the more I noticed that, the more I wanted to do it more. And the more I was able to do it more, like, so it's kind of like this organic thing where if you just take it in little bites, just actually kind of builds on it. And you just want to get to the point where like, I would notice when my body needed a break and I'd be like, it's time for me to step away. I need to go outside and I need to like do this. And it just kind of like, the more you listen, the more easier it gets, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that's what I would say is accept it's going to be uncomfortable and start in small doses.
How long, like, is there a goal amount of time that you should be aiming for?
Oh, that's another great question. Oh, so like, that's the thing. So for me, it just depends on the day. And it depends on, it's very much like, what is your body telling you that it needs? So there would be sometimes I'd go sit in my hammock and I'd be out there for 10 minutes. And that would be all that I needed. There would be other times I'd go out there and I would sit there for literally 2 hours, like literally 2 hours of sitting there. And there would be times when I'd feel that edginess, like, I gotta go. And you know what reminded me? Like, I remember this one time, Kristina, I was sitting in my hammock and I felt this like, I gotta go. I need to go check my phone. I'm just sitting here. I'm not doing anything. I need to be doing something. This is not productive. And I had this moment where I remembered how much I loved her. Like the love that I have for her just like filled me. And I remembered that she didn't have to do anything for me to love her. I just loved her. And I could just remember holding her and just loving her. And that's what I needed. I needed this kind of like self-validation to know like, it's okay. You don't need to do anything. I still love you. Even if you're going to sit in this hammock, you're enough right here. And that's what I needed.
Yeah.
So I think it's different for everyone and it varies, but like, that's been my experience.
Now, a lot of people don't start there. So what happens when people try to do the shining part, like the steps 3, 4, and 5 without starting there?
So good. It's so that you hit the nail on the head. It's so foundational to everything. Like if you tried to jump in and step into fear without really truly knowing what it is that your intuition is screaming at you, you are going to feel pressure. You're going to feel burnout. You're not going to feel congruent with who you are. I tried it that way for many years. I would just push. I'd try all the advice, the practical advice, like, okay, these are what the gurus say that you need to be doing in order to be successful, right? And I did all those things and I ignored what my body was telling me. And I was very successful on the outside looking in, picture perfect, financially successful. My business grew 4 times. Like you would be like, she is like just crushing life.
Yeah.
But I was not happy. I was like so not happy. So if you don't start with the foundational element, your body is going to be you're going to be burnout. which means how's that going to show up? For me, it showed up as constantly feeling overwhelmed, constantly feeling like I needed to manage everyone else's feelings and emotions around me instead of my own, getting really, really anxious about work all the time, feeling like every time I'd shut my computer, I'd be on edge. So it's like these bodily feelings, like my heart would be racing. I'd be feeling on edge. I'd be ruminating. I'd be anxious. And so now what happens is, because I know myself more, I mean, I'm not perfect at it, obviously. It's not like I don't ever feel anxious, right? But now if I feel anxious, instead of leaning into, okay, I need to do more, then I know I need to step back and slow down. So now it's like I can listen to these signals that I was ignoring for so long and pay attention to them before it gets to this point of like overwhelming stress and burnout, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. And you do start to recognize, like, I know for myself, I start recognizing stress things in myself. Like, I actually get very clumsy when I'm stressed. I start dropping things. And then typically before I noticed it, it would escalate my frustration. So, and then I would get more stressed and more anxious. And now that like I recognize it, I can say and laugh and just say, it's just that. And it's amazing how that awareness level and that being able to catch yourself before you go over the edge is so helpful.
Totally. No, that's so interesting. Yeah, like the clumsy thing. I think when I get really stressed, I get ruminating like in my head. It gets in this loop, and then I notice and I'm like, I'm in my head and I'm not in my body. So that's how it shows up for me, where I'm like, physically, it's difficult for me to be present in the moment and feeling all of the sensation. So that's usually a signal for me where I'm like, okay, it's time to ground myself. I need to go out and I actually need to touch something. Yeah.
So
anyway,
what do you say to people that say, I just don't have time for that? I'm in manufacturing. The world doesn't stop. I can't turn my phone off, and I can't play.
I would challenge anyone to look at their screen time on their phone. Look at your screen time on your phone. And if I would bet my bottom dollar that most people listening spend at least 1 hour scrolling on their phones every day. At least.
Easily.
1 hour. What if you just took 5 minutes of that 1 hour scroll time? That's like, truly, that's just start with 5 minutes.
Yes.
And notice how you feel when you take that 5 minutes after you're done versus how you feel after you've scrolled for 5 minutes. Notice the difference. There is a difference.
I could see that. Yeah, definitely. Definitely quiet, just more relaxing. It's like when you turn have you ever, like, if you cook with the fan on over the stove, when I finally turn that off and it's quiet. It's like, I didn't even notice the noise.
It's quiet. And that's when you can really hear yourself, is in those quiet moments.
Yeah.
Like, you can't when you're distracted by all the noise. Like, you hit the nail on the head, Kristina. It's only when we get quiet that we can hear our internal wisdom. We can feel that connection with God or with, the higher, something bigger than ourselves.
Yeah.
Whatever that is for you.
Yeah, totally.
So
now you said you took 2 years focused on the somatic. When you work with people, like how long does it take them to journey, or how far do you take them through this Moxie method? Like, how does that work?
Great question. Well, I'll tell you, we're starting it for the very first time next week. We're doing our very first cohort. So I'll have to keep posted on it. But yeah, I'm excited. So like our very first cohort is a 6-month cohort.
Okay.
And the way it works is we spend 1 month focusing on each stage from the first to the last. So they'll have 1 month to practice the stillness phase, and then we move into the next. So I'll have to keep you posted on it. But I think it's something that needs to be a habit. Yes. Like, it can't be something where you're just going to do it once a week. How can you make this into your everyday routine of being? And that's really when you'll start to see the impact. It's like the small moments that you take to do it. It's better to do it even just for 5 minutes a day than just do it once a week for, half an hour or whatever.
Yeah. Well, so a lot of that work, like I know for myself, for my faith base, like my spiritual habits are habits. And that is just what keeps me grounded and keeps me where I'm meant to be versus all over the place for anybody watching it. I use a lot of hand signals.
She's got so much Moxie.
Oh yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's been quite the journey, but it's totally changed my life. And I I look at myself now and how I show up and the just awareness and empathy that I have for myself that I didn't have for myself before, that really bleeds itself out around me. And I couldn't imagine going back. Like, it's just been really wonderful. Anyway, well, I would love to know from you, who is like a woman in history you admire, Kristina?
So I actually would like to, it's somebody I admire who is close to me. So she's not in history, but she helped kind of kickstart me into my journey. And it's my friend Laura. She just, I would say her Moxie, her ability to just invite people. Like, she seems this very, quiet and, not just reserved, but her ability to just stand up for what she believes in and to invite others to come with her and to just bring them along. Like, she brings so many people along with her to so many things and through so many journeys and through so many like life-changing things. Like, she was huge for me. And I love to like go back to her and be like, so what's about this thing? What do I do with this thing? And so she's just been just a huge journey kicker offer for me.
Journey kicker offer. That's amazing. Tell me what's like one journey that she helped you kick off?
So honestly, it was my whole like faith journey. Like, I met her. So I kind of started getting back into my faith before I got married, because I didn't want to be one of those people that just gets married in the church and then like takes off again. So I was like, I'm gonna just do this thing. But I met her when I was about to get my first son baptized, and we just connected. She just has this ability to connect and to just, where you just feel like she's like, oh, she's just very, I don't know, just very much with me. And she invited me to join this other thing. It's this alpha program, and that helped me to get deeper. And then she invited me to go do more. And then she just kept inviting me to places. And it just, her invites and like my ability to build community around, like within those invites, helped me continue on my journey. And that's kind of where I saw that I was very attached to my plant manager role and I'm a girl in this non-girl industry kind of pride almost. And I was able to kind of see that. And so it, like, that start to all of this, it gave me the guts to walk away from a paying job and start a business on my own and, do some of these things. And it's just been such a beautiful, like, she's an example, but she's an inviter too, so she kind of kicks you off that dime a bit.
I love that. She's like your courage companion.
She is.
Yeah. What's her name? Laura.
Mm-hmm.
I loved what you shared about how it was very clear as you were describing your friendship with her, that she made you feel safe and seen and that you belonged.
Yes.
And she wanted you to be part of everything that she was doing. Through that experience, you kind of were able to build the courage to kind of take some of these big, very aligned steps to start your own business.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really powerful. What do you hope that you can pass on to other women that she is really helped you find in yourself?
I think it's that ability to just have faith that it's like, if you're given that inkling to want to do it, just do it. Like, something is there that's pushing you to do it, and you should just do it. And that confidence that to just go.
I love that. The confidence to just go. Very cool. That's such a like drop the mic moment. We all need more confidence to just go.
I should probably call her, because I feel like I need some confidence to go.
I know. I'm thinking right now, what do I need confidence to go on? There's always something, right? When you're a business owner that you have, it's like, don't you find like there's always like this thing nagging at you? You're like, oh, I know I need to do this. I know there's so many things you have to get.
Yes.
Like, that's the thing about being a business owner. You have to get real smart about knowing what matters most and doing those things that matter most.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I think I'm still figuring that out, but just trying to break it down to what's the next most important step? What's what's getting in my way from doing that important step? How can I make a plan to do that? And it's just really, it is one step at a time, but keeping your eye on the long game at the same time. There's a good plan.
It takes so much moxie to do to like make a career change. Not only that, but to start your own business, like so much uncertainty, like such moxie, Kristina. Like when you think about what that journey has been for you, like, and you think about your own Moxie journey, what does Moxie mean to you?
So I never think of myself as having Moxie. I don't see it. When I hear the word, I think when I look back, I'm like, I guess I'm done okay.
But when I think about the word Moxie, it just makes me think of like those old movies and the black and white movies and like the woman who's just, like, of course I'm gonna do it. Like the low talk and like
The gravelly voice.
yes. And like
She's got Mox.
Exactly. And like right thing to say. And did you ever watch the movie The Holiday?
Yes. Oh, I love that movie.
And when I think it's Arthur tells, I can't remember her name. I want to call her Rose. Is it Rose in there?
Well, I think that's her Titanic
Name. I can't remember her name in there.
I can't either.
Rose, anyway.
Let's pretend it's Rose.
Yeah.
We all know Kate Winslet. We love her.
Yes. And he tells her, you're never playing the leading lady in your own life. And I feel like, I've always felt that. And I was like, oh, I'm so Rose or Kate Winslet. And so that's why I think I never thought I had Moxie. But then when I take a step back and I look at the crazy journeys that I've had through life and, just even the last, I'm going to say 6 years of my life, crazy journeys, like starting the business, changing the business, moving countries and redoing the business. It's like, it's a lot of stuff. So I guess I have some Moxie.
I would say so. If you're willing to move countries, move your business, start a business, move countries and move your business. That takes a lot of Moxie, girl. A lot of courage. Yeah. A lot of grit. Cool.
I'll be the leading lady in my life soon.
You are I see. You are the leading lady. I love that line in that movie, though. That movie is such great writing. It's written by Nancy Meyer, who did a lot of those rom-coms back in the day. She was a great writer. Yeah. So many great lines. I love that part of the movie when Rose, we're going to call her Rose, when her like total toxic guy comes across and shows up at the door.
Yes.
And she shuts the door up and she said something about like, I finally got gumption. Yes. And I just love that part. I'm like, that's another Moxie moment.
Gumption, yeah.
Gumption is such a great word. Yeah.
Love it. I love it. Love it.
Now you're making me want to watch that movie again.
Well, anyway, 'tis the season, right?
I mean, no, it is. My daughter's been on a big Sandra Bullock kick. She wants to watch every Sandra Bullock movie these days. So we watched Practical Magic the other day, which was perfect for before Halloween. And yeah.
I've seen that one. Check it out.
It's cute. Anyway, well, thank you for coming on,
Thank
Kristina.
you.
It's been so great to do this joint episode. What should we leave our listeners with? What should we do?
I don't know.
Yeah, we should invite invite them. We can invite them to take the Working Genius.
Yes. Let's definitely, if you're interested in seeing where your geniuses are and having a very simple and very practical way to just see where your God-given skills are, then take this. It's a 10-minute assessment, and you can find it on my website, which is Kristina Schmitt. KristinaSchmitt.ca, or you can go right to the Working Genius website, just workinggenius.com, and just grab it. Either place is the same. So.
Yes. I think I took that during COVID, and I need to take it again. I need to refresh myself. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you can find your results, they shouldn't change because they're innate. And yes. My guess is you have an I in there somewhere.
Yeah. That sounds right.
Yeah.
That
maybe
right.
that'll be
What's an I?
Invention.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Maybe some galvanizing or discernment. I'm not sure which.
Wow. I'm going to take it. I'm going to report back and see how good you are.
ED. I'm ED if that is.
You're an ED.
Yeah,
okay.
Enablement and discernment.
Oh, that sounds right for you.
And I can't help myself.
So have you taken the Enneagram or the Myers-Briggs or the DISC?
I haven't done Enneagram, but I've done Myers-Briggs, DISC, StrengthsFinder, I've done all of those.
What's your Myers-Briggs?
FP.
Me too!
Well, no wonder we get along so well.
We're twinners. That's so cool. So extroverted, intuition, feeling, and perceiving, right? Yeah. So cool.
Yes.
So then what's your DISC? Your DISC must be like an I.
It's an I, yeah. I can never remember. It all kind of blends, but definitely the I is my upper one. And there's an SC kind of blend.
Oh.
Yeah. Very cool.
What about your StrengthsFinder?
I never remember all of them, but I know there's connectedness. There's 4 of them in the people category, and then there's strategy. I only know the top 5, but it's a lot of relationship, I think, a relationship builder, and I can't remember the rest of them.
That's okay. I put you on the spot.
No, I know. I never remember them. That's my struggle. There's too many letters, too many words.
What a delight. 2 NFPs on the same call. So much fluffy bunniness
I love
energy.
I love it. Can you tell everybody about your Moxie course that's starting and how they can get involved?
Okay. So our Moxie course starts, well, by the time this airs, it will have been long past, but we have ongoing live mentorship events that we have scheduled every other month that we promote on LinkedIn. And what we do is we bring in a panel of mentors who will come and basically take anonymous questions from listeners and give mentorship advice.
Oh my goodness.
So we had our first one last month and it was brilliant. Like the questions people came with were insane. So those are free events that you can just to get involved and learn, experience and get some free support. So those are happening every other month. You can find me on LinkedIn to learn more about those.
Excellent.
And we have our own community too. And we've got lots coming up, lots in the motions. We've got a 15-day challenge course. That's also something you can get access to. That's our 15-day Moxie challenge where you can get a taste for what I just walked through today and you can practice.
Amazing. So many ways to get your Moxie going.
Right. Yes. Very cool. Well, this has been so fun.
It has been. I can't wait.
And for our listeners, definitely try to check out The Working Genius and connect with Kristina. And thank you for having me on your show, Kristina. This has been such a joy.
And thank you for having me on yours. It's been so much fun.
Yes. And until next time, keep building those business blocks and say hello, Moxie.
Thanks for tuning in to the Business Building Blocks podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's next. If you found value in our conversation, please leave a quick review, like, or share. It helps us reach more amazing listeners like you. For more resources and insights, visit KristinaSchmitt.ca, where you can find tools and support to empower your leadership journey. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.